call. The call is for 100,000 Black people to join him in a 40-day fast against Target for rolling back their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. According to him, they pledged several $100 billion by the end of 2025, and they recently announced that, according to them, they've completed their DEI goals. This is what Target is saying. Target is like, listen, we've achieved whatever objective we thought we was going to achieve. We have completed our DEI goals, and they no longer want to participate in these external diversity surveys or corporate partnerships that push racial equity quotas. That's the rub right there. Listen, Bryant's argument is that Target's decision is somehow an attack on Black people. And what he is doing is he is leveraging his position as a pastor to rally support. Now, I told y'all probably a year or two ago, I said the NAACP just needs to come and get Jamal. They just need to come on and get him. I don't know why he insists on being a pastor when he could probably grift so much more money by taking a play out of Al Sharpton's playbook and just start shaking down corporations for the money that he wants. And perhaps this is the practice. Perhaps him and Al have been, they've been conspiring together, and Al's like, bro, let me tell you, this is how you do it, because I shake down corporations all the time for money, and this is how it's done. That's what Al Sharpton does. Extortion, coercion, and just being a whole headache. Just being a whole headache. Al Sharpton has built an entire career off of race hustling. And so Jamal is well on his way to taking Sharpton's place. You know, Sharpton in his early millions, he losing weight by the week. I mean, we don't know how much long the Lord is going to tarry before he takes him to his reward, which we don't know what that's going to be. But no, Jamal, in his pastoral capacity, he's doing what he always does, bringing unnecessary attention to himself and then asking a minimum of 100,000 people to boycott Target because of some perceived injustice toward his people. Mind you, Target has not said that they are ceasing contracts with Black-owned businesses. They are eliminating shelf space for Black-owned businesses. They've never said, we ain't hiring Black folks no more. Like, we've inserted so many things into it. And what Target is saying is that we are no longer participating in these race-based quotas at the corporate level. We ain't doing no more of these darn surveys. This is stupid. We messed up. We should have never gave all that money and did all that George Floyd, we were stupid. This is what I really think Target is saying. And I agree. But this ain't the only reason why Target is stupid. But Jamal is asserting that rolling back DEI initiatives is an attack on Black people. But I am curious to know how he intends to prove this. Because I don't see Target ending contracts, like I said, with Black brands that are on the shelves. I don't see them firing all their Black employees. I don't see how Black people, by and large, are going to be affected by this in the least. However, I think there's a bigger question that we need to address. I wonder if Jamal believes that racism is a sin. I just want to know. I'm curious, what is his worldview on whether or not is racism, as he would define it, and who knows how he defines it, is a sin? Because I wonder if he is aware that the extortioner will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. And I know he believes that racism is, America's greatest sin, but I'd be curious to know, if that's the case, how is anti-racism also not a sin? Let me explain what I mean. According to the traditional definition of racism, right? Because, or should I say according to the traditional definition of anti-racism, it simply means to oppose racism, i.e. partiality, in all of its forms, treating individuals as equal regardless of race, and then rejecting any ideology that promotes racial superiority or discrimination. Okay. However, the critical race theorists, like all Marxist thought, they like to reinvent definitions and change the meaning of words. Change the meaning of word terms and phrases, what you thought it meant. They'd be like, well, that's not the proper definition. And then it's so hard to keep up. But according to them, anti-racism now means that you no longer oppose racism in the individual sense. But now racism, it means you no longer, you have to actively dismantle so-called systemic and institutional racism, whether or not racism is provable in a specific instance. So I'm like, this mindset, it's attempting to lay sin at the feet of people who aren't even aware that they are complicit. And then their silence alone, just their silence alone. Like, you like, I ain't even know. Nobody had told me. Your silence alone now is proof positive that you're guilty of something. You don't know what it is, but according to them, you guilty because they say so. So I'm struggling to understand how a preacher who claims to believe the Bible, now we know he really doesn't believe the Bible, but since he's cosplaying like a preacher, let's just go with the narrative, right? How do you claim to believe the Bible and then somehow believe that the Bible teaches that we are to seek equal outcomes when it is the Lord who tells us not to worry about what someone else has? You don't need to be concerned about how they may be better than you or have more than you or got the position that you want. You are to work as unto the Lord, doing your best and trusting God's providence and sovereignty for the rest. How did Jamal get to where he is? Where did he get there based on merit, or did he get a handout? I don't know if y'all remember. I distinctively remember Jamal was telling the story of how he got into Morehouse. And I'm sure that it wasn't because he was just this scholar with this stellar transcript. So I wonder if the reason he's so passionate about DEI is because perhaps he don't know what it feels like to work hard and accomplish something based on his own merit. I don't know. But I do have this one question, though. Where was this level? Where was this level of outrage when Target was actively going out of their way to place sexually explicit books and clothing celebrating sexually perverse things in their stores at eye level where children could see it, marketing it to the children? Like, why were we not actively outraged about that? Like, that's an actual sin, right? Like, as a Christian, I can say promoting transgender ideology and sexual perversion to children through a product line, that's predatory. That's predatory. And I mean, it's a legitimately sinful action that's one flat out nasty. Like, leave the kids alone. But I didn't hear a clarion call or a conscious Christian request. We didn't hear a peep out of him about that. And so my question is, could it be that he didn't say anything about the LGBTQ community because he's in this unholy alliance with them? We've seen him co-labor and collaborate with Metro Atlanta pastor who is married to a man, and then sit in front of this man and say, we need to apologize for, no, well, don't speak for us. Speak for yourself. My question is, this unholy alliance that he has with the LGBT community, the reason why he didn't say nothing about Target doing all that freak nasty stuff targeting the kids is because that Democrat street money would dry up if he actually spoke biblically about that issue. His mouth was real quiet about that. Why did Bryant remain silent? Target is those stores were stocked with LGBTQ merchandise designed by Satan artists, like Satanists. These people worship the devil, like for real. But he suddenly becomes incensed and enraged over the same business decision. It's a business decision, right? Regarding DEI. The reason why is because his skin is his idol. He worships at the altar of blackness. Look at the fist, the whole BLM fist, like the logo for your church is a Marxist symbol. He idolizes melanated cultural Marxists, and all of his heroes are communists. So his inconsistency in this area, it shows that his concern is not biblical righteousness, but it is social justice activism for personal notoriety. There is an effort to keep the people over at New Birth perpetually outraged over something. Every week is they mad about something that is profitable to him. And this stupid DEI Target boycott, it's no exception.